8:41, welcome back, everybody. There's the information on Bell Let's Talk Day. Text messages sent, long distances calls made on the Bell Network. Tweet on the Bell Mobility Network using the hashtag Bell Let's Talk. 5 cents from each of those activities goes toward mental health research, programs, you name it, right across the country. You can also share on your Facebook, which I did this morning. I'm sure Graham Richardson did. The image, Clara Hughes, the Bell Let's Talk logo, and so on. This is a monumental effort, which is huge already today.
It's very big, and people may not remember that Clara Hughes, in a very brave moment, she's an Olympian, and she came out and talked about her depression. And to be an Olympian and a successful Olympian, you have to be completely focused, and the last thing you would describe an Olympian as is weak. And she was not weak. She was very, very strong to do that. And I distinctly remember that day when she talked about that when she first joined Let's Talk. And I was stunned and also blown away by her courage to come out and talk about this in a way that hasn't been done.
No. We often here in these parts, and with good reason, talk about our young people and mental illness and having conversations and so on. But do not forget that amongst us every single day, there are people we work with, that we know, that we talk to each and every day, who suffer in some way from a form of mental illness, and we don't know.
Right.
So getting those people to talk and having that conversation without the stigma, without the stereotypes, is vitally important.
Yeah, and it's 1 in 4 in the country, and I would argue, I'm on the board of the foundation of the Royal Ottawa, and I would argue that it is larger in terms of the wider impact, whether that's coworkers who know something's not right, whether it's children who know an aunt or an uncle. So it is, and just a few years ago, probably within the last 5 years, I would argue that the opening up of the discussion has happened.
Definitely.
And it's Let's Talk, it's other things that are happening. And part of the problem is people think they treat the brain differently than the heart. If you have cancer, you can tell your coworkers, I have cancer. If you have schizophrenia, there is still, people are afraid. Yeah. And I understand that. But it is the same kind of thing that needs to be treated. It's just in a different way. But it runs deep, it is everywhere, and the ripple effects go on for generations. It is a very big challenge for Canada.
Almost always, when you find out about these things, and Clara Hughes is a fine example. Our colleague Michael Landsberg is another example. We know people very close to us who we work with who've gone through these situations, and it's a matter of understanding. It's and I can look at these people who've gone through mental illness and the things that are said in regard to mental illness. That sort of derogatory commentary seems to be slowing down.
Maybe. Yeah, I think it is. It is the fear of the people and the families who are suffering, though, that I can't do what I need to get done.
Yeah.
Because people will say things about me and it will hurt me at work, so I'm going to hide it.
Yeah.
And that's still very much there.
Yeah, people are fearful that it hurts not only at the office, but in their personal lives and their relationships and so on, and they don't want to bring that forward.
And I know we're all talking about Bell Let's Talk and 5 cents a text. I want to talk very briefly. We are, of course, doing a town hall tonight on CTV News at 6.
Yes.
But also I want to talk just briefly specific. The Royal just announced with Bell essentially a remote, television two-way. There's an official name for it. Essentially, they have psychiatrists in the Ottawa area.
Well, it's telemedicine.
There you go, telemedicine. Thank you, sir. And it is serving people, because what's happened is with Do It for Darren, with Jamie Hubley, there has been a surge, particularly in young people, and a huge demand on our mental health services. It's very difficult to get a psychiatrist, particularly in rural areas and smaller areas where people are people. They still need help. So this kind of a program, the texts, the 5 cents a text, the millions that it generates, is helping to chip away at that list. That's one sort of specific thing that's happening.
Listen, the town hall tonight is you're going to shorten the newscast to a degree so to allow time for a special edition of the program.
Essentially, the back half of the newscast, we will be in here. We will have lots of invited guests. A football team that is fighting bullying, that's part of it. We're going to talk to experts from the Royal and elsewhere about what the fight against mental health means practically and why it is underfunded traditionally by governments and and in extension because the public doesn't demand it. And so mental health issues take a lot of, they hit society hard.
Yeah.
They are less, they're funded at a lower level than other afflictions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Graham, thanks for dropping by.
No
I know
problem.
this means
Thanks
a lot
for
to
having
you,
me.
and
Yes.
it does to a lot of people in our community. Join Graham tonight and Carol Ann for a special edition of CTV Ottawa News at 6 with a town hall format in the second half of the program. And again, help raise money simply by talking. It's Let's Talk Day. You can talk through text message, long distance telephone calls, tweets using the hashtag #BellLet'sTalk. 5 cents for each of those activities, from Bell to mental health initiatives. And talk. Make sure you get the message out. Make sure you're heard. And others are heard as well on this special day.